Good morning. All right, so making good use of that new starting soon screen that we created. Looks like we can go ahead and get started soon. The idea that I had today is to create a Twitch chatbot. That starting soon page. Yeah, I like it a lot. It looks a lot more professional than just starting up and just looking confused for a few seconds. All right. Now, so I don't know if I can do a chatbot. Like, I don't know how successful this is going to be. The first place I ended up looking was Crates.io, and I searched for Twitch. And there is one thing, which is the Twitch API library. It's mad easy. I used IRC Crate. Really? Okay. Do they still allow that though? Like, how long ago was that? IRC Create thread safe, async friendly IRC client written in Rust. 2 weeks ago. So not before the new API from Twitch was released. Okay. So in that case, so if we have this, and then at the same time, we come to Twitch docs IRC. Okay, so getting started with chatbots and IRC. That's a bunch of Node.js code. But we're complete. Okay, chatbot and IRC guide. Twitch offers an IRC interface to our chat functionality. This allows you to, for instance, develop bots. Okay. Just the documentation for how to connect via IRC here. So there's the WebSocket client, IRC clients right there. To authenticate your password, it's just irc.twitch.tv. So I'm seeing that here, yeah, with a port of 6697. Create a socket connection IRC, send pass OAuth and user. 6667. Oh, right, because there's, well, oh, it's if I want to use SSL or not. Then join channel. Oh, so, well, okay, so I need the OAuth. So I need to figure out OAuth first. I wonder, does this crate handle, does the Twitch crate handle OAuth for me, or am I gonna need to do that myself, or does the IRC crate? Twitch apps. Well, I mean, so I could go here as of, oh, this generates an OAuth token that I could just use. Huh, interesting. You just send the OAuth. Okay. I was thinking initially I would have to create the entire OAuth thing to like basically do that explicit chain of like send, receive, send to exchange the password, then the keys, then to get the token, then finally to get the what is it? I guess the token that I need, and then be able to send that. But I guess I could just connect with Twitch, send messages, log in a chat, read chat messages. That's not what I wanted to do. Yep. I should not have clicked. Okay, I need to revoke that now. To deactivate the token, just remove the permission for Twitch ads. Okay, cool. I will have to do that under a hidden thing next time. All right, let's figure out how I deactivate that. What is it? Apps, Twitch. No, it's under dev Twitch, if I remember correctly, in Twitch settings. Oh, like in normal Twitch settings. Okay, I am going to go ahead and put on. I don't have like a anything besides a quick break. So I'm gonna go put this on a quick break screen just in case anything else is happening here. So let's see. Let's go in. Where are you? Setting. I guess it's my personal settings, right? Settings, connections. Got it. All right. Where are you? Yeah, I have to figure out which one of these was it. Although it tells me, okay. There's a whole bunch of these that I've apparently connected on. Other connections connected. What is it called here? I'm not seeing a TMI. Is it called OAuth generator? Twitch chat OAuth token generator. Got it. Disconnect. All right. So I can go back to my dashboard on here. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just generate a new token for myself, and then copy that into a secure file that I'm going to ignore, or going to not show to everybody. All right, let's also cargo new. We're gonna call this Twitch chat. I'll toss in my bash Twitch chat. Make sure to reload the page because Twitch apps need to be re-authenticated. Well, so it re-asked for authentication. So there was that. Twitch chat, create that, cd into Twitch chat. So, I mean, I could put that into, I guess there's no .env similar to, all right, I'll add this to my bash profile too. So vim export. Okay, so close that window, and I should be able to come back now. All right, so and reopen the terminal, documents, projects, mine, Twitch chat. All right, so here is a cargo. Can open up code here too. So here is a cargo, a crate that I just created. I'll be able to run this in I'll be able to set this with my I'll be able to read that in the standard environment variables now. But let's see, new version of VS Code. Perfect. Let's go ahead and take a look. So what we wanted to do, hello, Miguel, welcome to the stream. It's been a while. Okay, so what we want to do is use the IRC crate. We're going to connect in to this connection, and then we're going to read the chats. All right, so let's go ahead and pull in you. I'll be interested to see if this causes 30-second. Might as well immediately run a cargo run here. Let's also go to their official documentation. Okay, so primarily exported in client prelude. Okay, so we got client and proto. Example, so use IRC client prelude. So let client equals IRC client new config.toml is loaded from, so from my config.toml. Identity comes from client, or do I have to create this? It doesn't really say. Okay, so client identify and wrap, client for each incoming, IRC message. They have another struct where you can just make your own struct. That's what I did. Toml is what? So tomls are these file. So I guess there is no config toml here. It's like this is a cargo toml. Okay, so client identity unwrap, client for each incoming, if let command. I'll just dump my code in a gist right quick. Cool. If you don't, you should have, shouldn't you have your code in like GitHub? So that way it's all safe in case something horrible happens to your computer. All right, so IRC client prelude, let client equals IRC new. So I guess we could just try doing this and see what happens. Now this config toml sounds like this is where we're gonna have like where it's coming, like where it's going to. I wasn't taking this bot serious, I was just messing with Rust. Oh, second day, okay. So let's begin with use IRC client prelude. So in here, in main, also, are you done? Build failed. Waiting for other jobs to finish. Okay, hold on. What happened here? Failed to run custom build command for OpenSSL sys. Process didn't exit successfully. Failed to run no such file or directory. Is it cannot find directory of OpenSSL installate? Okay, so hold on. Sudo apt update. Johnson, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Okay, sudo apt search open SSL. Can I just install OpenSSL itself? Yes, I can. Okay, so change you to install. OpenSSL is already the newest version. Okay. So I have OpenSSL installed. It is the GNOME shell load at a low frame rate for you too on Ubuntu. Like, I'm not sure what you mean. Like, is it really slow? It doesn't need to be a huge frame rate because it's just text. Can't remember the damn commands you made. Hi, I try apt install OpenSSL Devil. Oh, so the development ones, because that's in here too, isn't it? No, that's not. So we have OpenSSL, OpenVPN, but that's it. No OpenSSL Devel here. Interesting. I don't know why I couldn't find the directory for it then. That's a little bit disconcerting. No, I mean the app menu at the bottom left. Oh, like when I do this? When I first load, it does load slowly. But I don't worry about that too much. Okay, so let's try that. OpenSSL Devel. Yeah. Dev. Nope. So it can't find those. So those are not available on Ubuntu. I wonder if I need to like upgrade to a new version. I'm just checking. It seems to be libssl dev. Libssl dev. Interesting. Here it is. Libssl dev. Secure socket layer toolkit. Development files. I can pull this in. All right, well, this is going to install something. Stacking, I find it kind of funny you're trying to use these bot commands in my channel when, I guess, did you set your bot to chat on this channel? And you're trying to use the commands for it? All right, so we have that. Let's try a cargo run again. Okay, so it compiled these. Failed to run custom build command for OpenSSL sys. Process didn't exit successfully. -sys, create cannot be processed without this knowledge. If OpenSSL is installed and has created trouble finding it, you can set the OpenSSL directory environment variable for the compilation process. Make sure you also have the development packages of OpenSSL installed. For example, OpenSSL dev, libssl dev. Okay, so that's what we just installed. Currently, this requires the package config utility to find OpenSSL. Oh, it looks like you're compiling on Linux and also targeting Linux. Currently, this requires the package config utility to find OpenSSL, but unfortunately, package config could not be found. If you have OpenSSL installed, you can likely fix this by installing pkg config. Okay, so maybe that's the... okay, so sudo apt search for package config. Juan, good morning. I don't have a chatbot yet, so I don't have those commands up, but we'll hopefully be fixing that soon. Package config. Okay, so that is available to us. Let's go ahead and install this. Unfortunately, we're stuck at the starting line with installing packages allowing us to just do the bare bones hello world compile that includes the IRC chatbot. Typical me, didn't even code the help program. Oh, throwaway bot. Is that yours? Is that it? Throwaway bot? Sorry, command not programmed yet. Okay, so that's installed. Let's try cargo. Run again. Everything needs SSL nowadays. That's true. It does. Oh, we're back to Tokyo again. Okay, so this always takes a while to compile and install. Let's go and continue to figure this out. We just won't save this file until we get the compilation going. Okay, so we want to use IRC client prelude star. So use IRC client prelude star. And we'll just keep on coming here to check how it's doing. Okay, so configuration is loaded from config.toml into a config. We don't have a config.toml, so do they have documentation on what goes into the config? Is having a main mandatory? Yes, so in Rust, we have to have this function main. It'll be called by the compiler. Hey, we got our hello world. So all of that just to get this working, but it was super good. So the error messages actually were nice. It would have been nice if they put that a little bit higher up, because I tried the other things first. Interesting function is function. Yeah, there's Rust has this as the keyword to initialize creating a function. Use is basically its import. So if I save you, gist, so here's your gist. Extern crate, oh yeah, we need to use extern crate. Extern crate, IRC, then IRC should be fine. Yep, there we go. Also, unused import. What's the this bang line at the end of print line? That is telling it that this is a special function called a macro, which allows it to take an unknown number of arguments. So this can be hello world, or it can be hello world with more C-like print line status. Please no judge. I never judge. I never judge code. All right, so let's see what we got here. We have function main let cfg equals config. So instead of pulling config from the file, you are just creating it right here. And so let's see, let config equals config. You've created your own struct here. I guess is config a struct created by Prelude, like pulled in? I guess it probably is. I wanna, how do I find that in here? So we have creates IRC. Do we have the config? That'd be super nice if we could find that, but structs. No. Protocol structs, nope, doesn't exist. And of course, error won't have it either. It has let and var. var does not exist here. It has let and const. Okay, so we're back to your code. Okay, so we're use this, let conf equals this. So nickname sum throwbot to owned. Does take to owned or take a string? I'll need to remember what to owned is. Server sum. Oh, so these are all sums, so it takes options for server because it could be nothing, I guess. My biggest pet peeve in life is bad docs, which is 99.9% of the projects. This is really sad that it doesn't have, like, in the official docs what this config, what it's looking for, or even if I wanted to create this file, what I would put in it. Port sum 6667 to owned, password is sum. Is that just a double quote? That I think goes under the client docs. Under client. Here's the structs, but I don't see. To owned, I believe, is just a way to make a string out of a str. Okay, so we could also do string from or toString. That looks like a double quote, which is that double quote or just two single quotes? Like you're sending an empty character. Channel sum, so it's a vector. The Berserker channel to owned, okay. Oh, so you could have it listen on multiple channels at the same time. That's interesting. Go to prelude. That's where. How do I get to the prelude? Module client. IRC client prelude. Here, can I get... Okay, so here's the prelude. Config. Oh, okay, so here's where it can see what it's looking for. Got it. Thank you, stacking. And toOwned is faster than toString from what I read. I thought that they changed that though, and more recently that now it's equivalent, but I could be wrong. Channel sum vector Berserker toOwned, and then everything else default is just default. So you're setting up the config. Let client equals the IRC client from config, pass to the config. So give it ownership to the config. And then unwrap that from whatever it is. Client identify. Okay. Then client, for each incoming, you pass in a closure, which gives you the IRC message. You're then printing out that IRC message. If let command was this, if message contains this, client send private message. Beep boop. Else if message contains help. Well, hey, you have help here. Oh, yeah. Then you just say, sorry, don't do it yet. Let's see. This is the faster than toString versus. Should always use in generic. It uses the formatting functions, therefore might end up doing multiple allocations and running much more code. Of course, there's into. This may be fixed in the future with specialization, as stir could implement toString directly instead of having it go through generic implements. Now that specialization for stir toString has landed, we can safely say that toString has the same performance as toOwned, and thus toString should be used since it's more clear. Okay, then the next day, I now strongly prefer toOwned. The difference between stir and stir, okay, so. Oh, so they're just saying use it because of what it tells you. Okay, so interesting. They're both the same speed according to this person, Oli OBK. But there could be other reasons to potentially use it, like for example, readability. Like, so if we just know that it's turning into a full string on the heap, then it's really nice to know, like, okay, that's what you're doing. You're changing it to something that's owned that could then be given ownership to, well, in this case, the sum. All right, well, let's go ahead and implement this. Since we're not going to get that from the official documentation, we'll use Stacking's documentation. So in function main, we need to create our config, and we'll see if this gives us anything from here. So let's config. I'll call this my IRC config equals config. Hey, what are some good resources for Rust? It depends upon what your level is with Rust and with like just programming in general. To begin with, the book is always a great beginning resource. Beginner, the book, yep. Let's see. Let IRC config equals config. Okay, are you? So nickname. Oh, I was hoping that it would autocomplete for me. Okay, so nickname we need to set up as a sum, and then we're going to give it the name of our bot. What should our bot be called? Even a book is good for experts because you need to know concepts that you can't learn from the rest examples. That is true. If you get stuck with a book, I have a link to my YouTube channel down below. I went through the entire book, especially like word for word the beginning sections. And anytime you get stuck or anything else, you can go and look through those chapters that I did, and just sort of follow along and see my thought process on them. Okay, so we want, it's going to be a sum, and we're going to put in the string, so it's going to be whatever we feel like here. So what should we call this? What should our bot be called? We could call it Berserker bot. Berserker bot for right now. Let's try toOwned. Interesting, there's two owns here. You need to make the bot name whatever you plan on making it. Well, I know, I just don't know what to make it. So I figured I could crowdsource and ask you all. I'm a junior dev, I do a lot of C#. You began your programming journey in C++. Okay, so yes, it does have a package manager. The Twitch account for a bot. Oh, I actually don't have a Twitch account for the bot. That's a problem. I'll probably have to make a Twitch account for this bot. But anyways, Dex, you may have a little bit to unlearn from C++, but besides that, it should be a fun, it should be something that's fun. That's, if you're not having fun, then there's a problem there. Okay, so we're gonna have to create a bot. We're gonna have to create a new account for this. That will be interesting. Let's see. What do we want to do that? Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that for right this second, and I'll come back to it. Okay, so server, IRC, chat, Twitch, TV, to owned. Okay, so we have our server. So that's a sum. It's gonna be irc.chat.twitch.tv to owned. Okay. Then we have port, which is the 6667. Looks like VS Code has an extension for Rust. So it does have one. I have the RLS, which is for Rust. I updated VS Code last night. There's also a Jetstorm product for it. What was this? It was port sum. Is this really? Huh, they want a string. Okay, so 6667 to owned. Password. So this is interesting. The password is just, or is that just you removed it and you forgot to remove one of the double quotes or something like that? I'll have to put in, port is actually a U16. I fucked up and didn't realize it. Oh, well, hold on. Let's take a look at this. Port option U16. Okay, got it. So we need a not this. I wonder if it'll accept this and just auto convert it properly. You removed it. Can I refresh? No. I'm surprised Rust didn't yell at me for that. They might convert it. They might be able to do that. I mean, it removed the password part. Yeah, so, okay. So we need to also figure out, so password sum. So on here, we're gonna have the password. This is gonna be a sum, and it's going to be the password from the thing. So right here, we're going to need to use the name of a Twitch account for the bot. And down here, password is use the password for the, well, this is going to be not the password, this is going to be the OAuth. So use the OAuth token for the bot. So I don't need mine, I just need, unless I'm doing this as mine, so I could, I guess, initially set this as Berserker, and then I'll use mine to begin with. And then after that, I'll create a real bot to go in. Okay, so we can right now just have an empty string .toOwned. All right, what else is in here? Channels. Okay, so it's going to be a vector of the channels that we're going to. The sum is a function of the IRC package, or is it built? So sum is interesting. Dex, the Rust doesn't have the idea of a null. So because of that, they have a structure called option, which is basically, it can be a sum, so that's something, or a none, which is a, well, nothing. And that's how they can get around by not having null as a first-class citizen, but also have the ability to have something be none, but be protected in that way. It's an enum in Rust, yes. We'll probably get to that sometime in this project, but maybe not. Rust eats your mind right now. Yes, that will happen. That will definitely happen. Okay, so we have password, then we have channels. Channels. This is going to take a sum, which is a vec. The bang here is to just basically shorthand create a vector for us, and in this case we want a string of the channel that we want. So it's going to be the hash berserker.toOwned. We only want one channel that this bot is on for right now. And then everything else, so default, and then we just make everything else default. Okay. Default, is that with capital D? It is. So colon default, that, oh, it didn't find it. Okay. Cannot use a comma after, okay, fine. I won't use a comma. All right, so we created our config. Of course, we don't have the password in here right now. We'll need to remember how to bring in this. So let's go do that. This is going to be Rust read environment variable. One quick question: how do you actually properly Google stuff for Rust as a programming language? There's a Rust game as well, so I can imagine that being a little problematic. So you could do Rust lang or Rust followed by like the more technical terms. You're not going to run into trouble as long as you write the other things that are technical. Like for example, Rust read environment variables. There's nothing about this game in the first page. All right, so standard env removes, sets the environment variable k, parses, working with environment variables. We could just use that. Go back to the book and read it. Okay, so writing failing case, so we don't care about that. Oh, right, I remember this project. Okay, so checking for an environment variable named case insensitive. So env var case insensitive, and if it's an error, we run this. So let case sensitive equals env var case insensitive. Okay, so what I want to do is maybe right up here, we're going to say let the OAuth token equals, we're going to need to bring in standard env. And so here we can say, okay, env is just var. The key is going to be, unfortunately, I already forgot what I named the key, so I'm gonna do a quick break thing while I read that, since I don't have a better obfuscating screen, so I'll be right back. And that way I can read, I can tail my dots Twitch_OAuth. That's what it is. Okay, back. So Twitch OAuth, but it also is showing that we need this is_error here. So we're using the is_error method on a result to check whether or not it's an error and therefore unset, which means it should do a case sensitive search. Okay, so what does is_error? What does it do? Is it we're using the is_error method to check whether or not it's an error and therefore unset? I guess, does it panic? Maybe a lot of people are searching for Rust game and end up learning Rust language. That would be kind of a little bit funny. Okay, so is_error, we'll run that. That will give us the OAuth token, which is set right now. So then we can say this will be the OAuth token. I'm actually curious, does this come in as a string? I'm always wondering whether there's a ton of bangs in Rust, like vec or println as well. Yeah, there's a special macro thing in Rust. Okay, I need a semicolon here. Mismatch types expected struct, standard string found a Boolean. Oh, well, okay, never mind. This is just checking to see if it's set. That's not what I wanted then. I don't want that at all. I want, so env var is not correct. Let's switch that away to env. We need the value. Is there a value? Set var. Is there like a get var? Or maybe it is a var. Okay. Into results. There's an unwrap. And then as ref. Or perhaps the best thing would be actually go to the documentation for env var. Second editions, they have this is the forward. Oh, this is just the beginning of the book. Okay, let's go to the Rust. So Rust environment variables. Right, yeah, so this is going to be for the macros of what they are and how to create them. So env. So this is the official documentation for Rust. It's pretty good, but it also requires a little bit of navigation knowledge. Dev docs don't have Rust. There are actual, it's like these are the real documentation. There's also the books that are very good too. So what we want is var we're in standard. We need env. Module standard env. So there's vars, var error, var. Fetches the environment variable key from the current process. That's good. Aha, okay, so var returns a result string or var error. So I just want to unwrap it, I'm thinking. Because we can let key equals home, match environment var key, okay value. Okay, that's what it is. So I just need to unwrap this. So dot unwrap. Unwrap is basically a way of saying get the, because they're handing me essentially a sum, and I need to get the value outside of it, and unwrap will do that. So it unwraps the thing that I have, and of course if there is nothing in it, if it's a none, it will panic and crash the program immediately on purpose. Okay, so let OAuth token, we have this, we're passing the OAuth token here. All right, is there anything else? We're just not using it. So now we're happy with that. Let's go back to our guide here. So that client equals IRC client from config. We pass the config and then we unwrap it because it returns a result. So let client equals. Let's, I'm gonna call this the IRC client equals IRC client from config. Oh, now I'm getting that. Okay, so from config, and then our config is IRC config. And of course, this is getting a, it's returning a an option, so we need to unwrap it. Okay, so that gives us the IRC client. Then we do client.identify, and then work with that. So that's actually interesting. I'm curious about what that is. Client identify. Where is, here it is. So the fields. Okay, identify. Okay, so client identify. So it's an implement, it returns a result, sends a capend, nick, and user to identify. Okay, so this is where it's sending that out to the IRC server. It connects with a really shitty named function. Okay, so then we're gonna do IRC client dot okay. It's just identify. It's really sad that I'm not getting the autocomplete when I want it. Earlier said if something is the actual null, it panics on purpose. What if you actually want something to be null? Okay, so that's where you basically don't use unwrap anymore, and instead you basically check for it. It's a nifty little if type statement. We just saw one in the documentation, and I just glossed over it, but I lost it. Well, I'm sure we'll find it somewhere else. If something is empty, it would be a none. Okay, so basically, yes, none is something that is kind of like null, but you can implement your own also. Look up match. Match is going to be the way to sort of tell, hey, if it's something, do this with it. If it's none, do this other thing with it. and I really like the way it looks for that. Okay, so we're gonna do our client, and we're gonna run the iterator for each incoming over it, and pass it the closure. So then we have IRC client dot for each incoming. For each incoming, this is going to be a closure, and they're using the same closures that many other languages use, like for example Ruby. And we're going to take in the IRC message. This will be the message, and then in here we want, well, we can print out what this message is. So we'll print line the message, incoming message. Okay, are you just unhappy because... All right, good. Well, yeah, they're actually nice debugging features to have like little print lines here. Okay, if let command. So this is an if let, so command private message is going to be an option, and so we're going to be pulling out channel and message equals IRC message command, which itself is a struct. That's curly brackets. Okay, no, IRC message command. Okay, so got it. IRC message. I didn't see the dot for a second. IRC message dot command. So if the message dot command, so it's an option. So we're going to pull out channel and message from it, and if these exist, then we're going to run this code. All right, so if let, and then we're going to be pulling into command private message channel and message. Why are you green, by the way? Unused result. Ah, I see. That's why you're unwrapping at the end. So we can unwrap here to make sure that we have the result. Yeah, you need to unwrap the entire closure. Well, it's not the closure. We need to unwrap the for each incoming. Okay, so here's this next fun thing. I'm thinking if let command private message channel message equals IRC message command. Is this gonna be easier to reason about than a match? Command private message. So we're bringing this into a tuple, and is that type private message or IRC message command? So I can do a match on IRC message command essentially. So I can do a match on the message. A match would be used to check every possible type, which you don't want. Oh, I guess so. Well, I could have the underscore everything else. You just want to check. We just want to check for private message. What is in here? I guess I could see this. IRC message command. Can I see what that is in the documentation? IRC message. Oh, I guess here they have this exact documentation here. If let command private message channel message. Do they have that? For each incoming. Where can I see data, prelude, transport, trait extending all IRC trains with 48, okay. Yeah, I just copied that whole thing since I had exactly what I wanted. Okay, so for each incoming, where f, so they take a function, f and mute message, self-sized, okay. Interesting, here they do the match on IRC message command, private message channel message, if message contains, it's about equal complexity if I use the match and if I don't. I wish I could see what the IRC message struct is. Like what type that was. Nibbles.io, hello! Welcome to the stream, good morning. And you're rating with a party of 37. Thank you, Nibbles. Welcome everybody to building a chatbot with Rust. All right, so we're in the middle of implementing stacking. Our viewer has given us some code to sort of play around with, and we've also got the documentation which he pulled from. They're using a match. They've used a match and they've used an if-let at both in the documentation, which I'm not terribly thrilled about. I think I'm gonna do the if-let one, the same one that that stacking used. All right, so I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. Basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, okay, if-let, and we're gonna be using this tuple type. Wait, what is an if-let? Okay, so if-let, it's a little bit interesting. Basically, we're testing on here IRC message.command. It is it's holding an option, which is the same thing that we were setting with those configs with the sum, and we're saying, okay, if it exists, if there is a sum, put that sum and extract it out. But we're doing a little bit more than that, because we are saying we want to then destructure inside in that one line channel and message from the result of unwrapping the sum out of here. If it's a none, if sum didn't exist there, then we're not gonna do the entire if block. We could have an else. So that's how we can have that, like, oh, if it's none, do this other thing. That was the first thing. When I attempted to do an if statement in Rust, I accidentally found if-let and then was getting errors galore until somebody reminded me that that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. Like a ternary operator assign. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Video gamer games. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hey, how are you? I think things are going well right now. We're hopefully about to get a chatbot to say hi under my own name. Okay, so you like programming too? Programming is awesome. It is great. Okay, so we want to do this if-let command, and then we need this priv message. I guess that's short for private message. I don't know why they couldn't just spell that out. So if-let command, let's do this. We'll not use the match. We'll do if-let. So instead of some foo like this is gonna be command, and then priv message. So these are all these different things on here. So priv message, string and string. So here is where we're gonna be able to do channel and message. Channel, message. Long stream today. Yes, because I am fun employed. I am between jobs, so I don't have to go into work at 9. However, my new job does start in a week and 2 days, counting today. So then everything will change, and I'll have to figure out a new time to stream. But until then, we'll celebrate by doing long streams in the morning. Okay, so if let command private message channel message equals, and it's going to be the message dot, of course no autocomplete, so we have to come back and look at this. It's going to be command. No, you're lying to me. I don't want capital C. All right, so if this gets set, then we're going to have channel and message available to us. I know. Woot. Okay, so if the message, the message we destructured out, if the message contains the client.current nickname, so that would be, it would be cool to program for a job, but I was told it's tough to get into. I mean, yeah, it can be tough to get into, but I mean, it sort of depends. If you want to do that as a job and create things for people, then there are ways to get into that, and it's both tougher and not as tough in just different aspects. Okay, so if message contains client current nickname, so this is basically saying, hey, if this is to me, if this is, if message contains client current nickname, which the nickname is my bot, so if it's me, then client send private message to the channel, a reference to the channel, beep boop. So this is when I'm first connecting. Else if the message contains, okay, so if it's me, I send beep boop. Otherwise, if it's somebody else sending it, but the message contains bang help, then we just say, sorry, I don't like you. I would just do something like second else if command. Yeah, I think that would work. And then we could just keep on going down and generating these other commands that we do. Okay, so let's, I bet we don't need to do this right away and see, because if we don't have this if, we should be able to just print all the messages that are coming in, shouldn't we? So let's actually try that. I'm gonna not have this right now. I'm just gonna print all the messages that are coming in, and then it should go. And we don't have anything else in this main file. So let's run this. So cargo run, and let's see if we get all the messages. Okay, so incoming message, welcome, good luck, have fun, your host, server's rather new. We joined, end of names list. Don't forget to make the Twitch account and get the OAuth. So I set it to mine, and I use the OAuth from my account for right now. So it should be good, I think. Yeah, here we go. Incoming message. So you, Twitch RC is bloody slow. It takes a good 20 seconds to connect. But I got. Dingman, you're good at this. I'm still practicing. So I have been working with technology, computers, and the entire IT industry for quite a while. I got my start as a systems administrator. So I'd say like keep on practicing and do your best to have an open mindset. And every time you run into a problem, think about it as like a puzzle in a game to overcome. And once you overcome it, you reach to the next level, which is harder. But that's better because now you're building more complex things. Maybe they delay connect on purpose. It's possible, but hey, look at this. We're getting all the connections. So this is cool. So I'm gonna come back over here. Now we can do is implement this next section. Now that we know that that's working. All right, so in fact, now that we have that working, maybe I should, well, no, I'm gonna do this and have it send a message on my behalf. So it'll look like it's from me. Okay, so we'll now do this if let. So if let command priv message. So if let command dot double colon priv message. This is going to be the channel and the message itself. So notice that, am I going to need the IRC message again? No, I'm not. So I'm taking in this message right here, and I took it in right here. It's called shadowing. Basically, I'm overwriting it, and now it's a different scope essentially, and it's going to be a new message. This one's kind of lost to me inside of this block, but I don't really care. I don't need it. All right. So, foo. We don't care about foo. This is going to be the message dot command. That was right. Message dot if let message dot command. So if the message contains the current nickname, client send private message, reference to the channel, beep boop unwrap. So is that because if we take a look at what we're getting in, Berserker. So if we take a look, my name is in here for every single one. Your new host, the server is rather new, blah, blah, blah. Berserker, but maybe commands is different. Maybe command is something slightly different. Okay, so then we want in here, so if the message contains client current nickname, so message, is it message.contains? And then we want to use the client. So that's the IRC client. It's not the config, it's client. I guess yeah, we're using this client, which we passed in the config as ownership, but now the client has it. So client dot current nickname. So this is IRC client dot cool. So it has, oh, I can get a list of all the users too. So this might be really interesting for other things that I could do. For right now, it'll be current nickname. So if message contains current nickname, then we want to client send private message to the channel. So it doesn't feel like it's private if it's to the channel, but we'll try this anyways. So IRC client dot, there's just send underscore, okay. Send underscore No clue what IRC names messaging. Yeah, like that. It doesn't feel like it. So priv MSG. So priv MSG doesn't seem to make very much sense. We're going to take in a reference to the channel. So I'm going to pass it a reference to the channel. This is already telling me that attempt to take. Okay, hold on. I can't read the error message until I actually finish doing it. And then a stir of what the message are going to be is like, hello from a bot. Bang, 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 bang. And then we want to unwrap this because it sends an option. Okay, so we have that. Are you going to yell at me still? No, you're not. Perfect. It's been a thing since the 80s. I guess, I mean, it has been around forever, but it still doesn't make that much sense to me. Okay, then we have our else if the message contains the command we want to do. So then we're going to do else if, so message dot contains, and so here is we're putting in just a stir of the message. So we can do, what's the first command that we should add in here? We don't have any logic for anything, so it should just be something like a ping and a pong. So how about ping? So if the message contains ping, then we want to then, it's going to be the same thing, right? IRC client send private message channel. Okay, that's what we want to do. So IRC client dot send priv message a reference to the channel, and we'll just send back pong dot unwrap. Okay, so is there anything else? No, it seems, so that seems to be what it is. We've got all these, let's recompile and run this. All right, so finish running, we're getting everything. I'm waiting to see if we get a message from me in this channel. But we have to see. Was it like waiting 20 seconds or so for it to connect? Hey, hello, Brooke Zerker. Okay, so I got that. Well, mine didn't send a message there. The ping worked. Oh, let's try this. If maybe it was, I don't know, but the ping works, which is great. So we have a bot. So now all we need to do is create an account, set that up properly. We can now have this bot responding in here and doing what we want. I might have messed up that first command. Is that a great LOL? That's a great LOL. Unicode. Well, it displays. All right, so let's take a look at what this first command really is. Basically, if message command contains my current nickname, so my current nickname is just Brooke Zerker. So try it with a lowercase b. I get the idea that maybe it's a case sensitive. Yep, that works. I'm not really sure, like, so this is, I mean, I guess we could do all sorts of crazy, interesting, cool stuff with it now. But the idea is that we now have this bot up and running. We need to set like the name of the bot. So there's like the professional bots out there, like Nightbot. We can maybe just call ours Berserker bot. We could do that. What I would need to do is create a new account and then get that OAuth token and put that in there and then set this. So I think what I'm gonna do is do a quick break while I do that. So I'm gonna transition over to the quick break screen to obfuscate the screen, mainly so that I can access my my password files. It's not password files, my password manager. Okay, so where are you? Oh, right, I forgot. I had created a bot before for a Twitch stream for a game jam, but I named that DM Game Bot, which is not exactly the right thing here. So I want to create a new one. A new login is going to be twitch.tv Berserker bot. Username. Guess I need to actually go to Twitch and find out what accounts are available. So log out. Sign up. Do you have any specific plans, actions, functions for this bot? Plans for this bot. I want to have it. I want to be able to do like polls and other things, and I want to be able to also display on the screen the chat, so I don't have to have the side window open. Okay, so let's see if Berserker bot is available. That is available. Can I do dash? Underscore? Underscore is available. Aretha Franklin died? Oh no. That is sad. Okay, so Berserker underscore bot. Generate a password. Okay, so we have that. Copy you. And I guess my date of birth could be today, but I think I have to put it old, like long enough ago that it can legally be part of this channel, because I do have like the adult, like, you know, adult filter on. So January 1st, 1979, let's say. Email, okay. I am not a robot. I am making a robot, but I am not a robot. Oh no, it's how to get in a channel. I'm only 12. Oh, that's a Twitch chat joke. I was gonna say, for a 12-year-old, you're very smart. Very good with programming. And also, I think you have a job. I think you mentioned you had a job. Okay, pick 3 more I want to watch. I don't want to set up games to watch on this. I wish I was only 12. We all wish that we were back in younger. Can I not sign up for games to watch on this account? Okay, so I guess I have to. So what do I do? I don't really care. First 3. Next. Let's find you some channels to follow. I don't care. Done. All right, Berserker bot. I'm invisible. Perfect. So I now need to go back to that that URL you had at the very beginning. Streaming to the full beginning of the oh, did we lose it? Oh, it doesn't have the full chat anymore. It lost it. That's sad. Okay. I need to remember what that. Oh wait, you know what? The guide had it, didn't it? To quickly get a token, use this thing. So this is why I'm still on the quick break. So I can get this OAuth for Berserker bot. Authorize. Copy you. Close the window. BRB phone call. And quit out of the okay, so I turned off the bot, so that won't work anymore, but I will now be able to put this token into my bash profile. I can now I should now be able to retransition back over. I have all those closed. So I named mine Berserker underscore bot. Okay, so if I save, if I recompile, all right, so Berserker bot should be back. So welcome, good luck, have fun. We're on here. If we now just say Berserker bot, we have hello from the bot. I lost my stream chat. Oh, okay. It's because I'm logged in as the Berserker bot. Too long of a name. Is that too long of a name? So is it too long of a name because oh, you're being okay. Now I need to log out of you again and log in as okay. So now I need to obfuscate again. Berserker Brewbot. Oh, tap to get my Twitch security code. Okay, I left my phone upstairs. So I need to go upstairs, grab my phone. So I'm just gonna go ahead and turn this into an official quick break. I'll be back in probably a minute or two. I'm also gonna refill my water. All right, I'm back. And I have logged in. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I can't close that window without being on it. Okay, hold on. I need to... There. That's all I needed to do. Okay, so theoretically, I should now be able to refresh this and be on my appropriate. Should get back to my dashboard now. All right, everything should be back up and running. If I try help again. Yep, I'm as myself. Is my bot not running? It is running, but it didn't respond. Okay, what happened? Oh, right, I don't have a ping. I don't have a help. I have a ping. Wait, Berserker still. I thought I set you to be Berserker bot. That's annoying. Okay, let's try this again. So in here, we have Berserker bot. We connected channel Berserker. Hello from bot. We send a pong. Is the OAuth token that I'm getting not my bots? But when I... Okay, that's... It's being very weird. Did I forget to save? This is... There's no dot, so even if I close these... This cargo runs, recompile, and see. I mean, that was super fast. Let's do another ping. From me again, Pong. Okay. Grr. Why wouldn't you work for me? I must have the wrong... Yeah, you're right. I must have the wrong OAuth token. That is kind of... that's a little bit sad. Okay, so how do I want to do this? I can come back, so do the re-authentication again. I think the easiest thing for me would be to download Google Chrome and use a different browser because... Oh, actually, you know what? I can use a private. So what is the command for a new private? New private window. Okay. I think technically Twitch just ignores the name you send it and it auto sets your name based on an OAuth token. That would make sense. Okay, so I want to go to twitch.tv. Right, so I'm logged out. I want to now log in as...
Oh, and Jamie kicked his ass.
Nope. Don't need you. Okay, so Berserker bot. I want to make sure I have all that set up, which means I have to go on a quick break again really quickly. And I just closed my password window, so now I have to retype that password in. I wasn't paying attention to who that was. All right, so want this, close you out, back to you, and log in. Okay, so Okay, we're here as Brookzerker bot. In this window, we can now come. So we should be able to actually go to my channel, right? So we can just search for. Oh, do I need to verify it? I might need to verify it. Pause the video. If I chat, like, this should totally work, right? Hello. The room requires a verified email address to chat. Okay, so I need to log into this email and verify. Your email address has been successfully verified. Okay, so hello. All right, Brookzerkerbach was able to say hello this time. So now I should be able to come back to here, copy this link location. That was manual. That wasn't from the actual bot. That was just me being. Okay, so now we're gonna obfuscate again. I'm gonna connect with Twitch. This should be a different name. Let's find out. So if I open up them. OAuth equals. Okay, yes, this is a completely different account. So it gave me a new OAuth token that hopefully is the correct one now. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna restart the bot. So cargo run. I'm gonna close that window so it can't accidentally go to it, and unobfuscate. So we're now loaded in here. It's not telling me anything different here. So let's try ping. Urgh. Why are you doing this to me? Ping and pong from the wrong one. Oh, I'm so sorry, stacking. I will send that for you. How do I find it? Is it colon? I don't use Twitch chat with these features very much, as you could probably tell. There it is. Okay, so why are you doing this to me? It's being so mean to me. Okay, so my can't hit paste. I have to come back to here. Copy link location. Let's paste this into here. All right, so if I connect with Twitch, Twitch chat OAuth from your Twitch settings. Well, if I come into here, am I 100% sure I overwrote the OAuth environment? Oh, you know what I didn't do? Haha. You know what I didn't do? I didn't resource. So I need to source my .zshrc profile to get the new environment variable. You're right. Because I did overwrite it, but I just overwrote the file. I didn't actually change it to be the new one. So it actually probably was working the entire time. I just was being silly about it. Hey, take a look at this. Berserker bot. Welcome, good luck, have fun. Okay, so now it's definitely working. I can now do ping and Berserker bot pongs. Okay, so that's so much better now. All right, this means we have a working Twitch chat bot. Yes, bot, are you going to respond? Okay. That should have worked. Let's try it. Okay. It works from me, but not from anybody else. That should have worked. Okay, so what's going on? It's not checking just for you. Okay, so yeah, all right. My bot hates everybody besides me right now. It just ignores everybody else. Okay, so so incoming message. So we're getting all these incoming messages. If let command private message channel. So I need to get the channel for this. Message command. If message contains. So I wonder if this is the same message. I'm actually going to remove this. Let's remove that one command we have, and let's just print line message. Let's see what this is. I'm also going to comment out this message, so we're only going to get this one. Channel, I'll underscore you so you don't yell at me. All right, so let's see what this message is to see what it is that we have access to. So it should be a string. Oop, upstairs is I'm gonna close the door really quickly. Somebody upstairs was blending something. Okay, so message correct. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Okay, so the message is exactly what we think it is. So it's just the pure text. What's interesting is that it doesn't have like anything about who sent it, which is not necessarily helpful. I think the other, like the full command coming in did. Okay, so then we have this message here. So maybe for this, I'm going to call this the raw message. And then we're going to have the actual message text. This is now going to be raw message.command What else is available on raw message? Okay, I want to do a print line. So incoming raw message. Raw message. It has the command, the RC command parsed according to the known specifications. The command itself and its arguments, including the special suffix argument, are captured in this component. But in raw message, IRC proto message. Okay, so we can maybe go into the documentation and find it. So proto message. Okay, so we have tags, prefix, and command. So tags is an option. Message tags is defined by IRC. These tags are used to add extended information to the given message and are commonly used in that. Prefix, the message prefix and the command. Okay. And so we have implement on message. We obviously have new. We're not going to care about that because we already have it. We already printed out the whole message. I'm just wondering if like there's other things we can get easier. Source nickname. Get the nickname of the message source if it exists. Okay, so source nickname will tell me who sent it. So source nickname. So I don't need to do this. What we're gonna do is we have raw message command, print line message, and we can actually just do this. This will be raw message dot source nickname. Source nickname like that. Let's see if this gets, okay, so that's not working. Failed to resolve, use of undeclared module. Okay, so maybe it's just a dot. Standard option stir doesn't implement. Okay, so I can unwrap this. For some reason, I thought because implemented and it was a public, I would use double colons. I get that mixed up still sometimes. Okay, use of the partially moved value raw message value. You have value used here as to move. Oh, interesting. So use a partially moved value raw message, right? Because we just gave message to you right here. So maybe what we can do is get the source nickname here. Because channel, oh, so command gives channel and message. We want to do basically, I don't want to do an if let. I can just do a let nickname equals raw message dot, and what was it again? It was source underscore nickname. Source underscore nickname dot unwrap, not unimplemented dot unwrap. Then down here we'll put in nickname. Cannot move out of raw message because it is borrowed. Oh. Move out of raw message commands. Right. Move out occurs here. So I can't really get out easily here. I wonder if I can. I mean, so I'm getting the raw message and I can print line that and it moves that in. I guess it's getting the nickname. Can you copy clone the whole thing? I might be able to. So if I let's try this. So let raw message clone equals raw message dot clone. Wait, okay. Then raw message underscore clone. Will you work? No errors. So, I mean, it's not necessarily the best thing memory-wise, but it might let us get the actual nicknames out along with the message. Thread main panicked at called option unwrap on a none value. Oh, okay. So when it not because those first messages came in didn't have the message. So I indeed want to have. Basically, it's going to have to be another if let, isn't it? Okay, so instead of here, because like if let source nickname right there, let's comment. Oh, we have the raw message clone, indeed just for debugging. Although I am going to want to have the nickname. Maybe there's a better way in the documentation. Source nickname with tags, response target. There's the toString, converts a message into a string according to the IRC protocol. So ADA private message channel, hi everyone, RN. That's not, it's not necessarily what I want. So they do implement clone. That's why we're able to do that. Partial equal debug from string. How's their implement display? Formats the value using the given. Oh, so they format display for message. I can just. This is just proto message mesh. So I can just print line the raw. Oh, that's why we are able to print line the raw message, and we were able to see what that was. I wonder what else we can get. So channel and message. We know they have a display because we print out the whole thing. Yeah, we did. I sort of forgot that we had done it already. We don't need this anymore. We know we can clone it. We can get the nickname out of it. But not every single message has a nickname. So we don't necessarily want to unwrap it on here. In fact, we may want to if let inside of here. So if I come in here, and we'll do another if let. So if let sum nickname equals, and it's going to be this: the raw message clone source nickname. So if there's a sum out of that, we're going to get it into nickname, and then we can put, oh, don't do that to me. Then we'll put the print line up here. So then we'll have the nickname and the message. You, then we don't need you. Okay, so let's see if we can get the nickname out of here now. Okay, so also notice we don't have any prints here because all those original, all the original things from the IRC itself didn't have a nickname. So now if I say hello, we get Berserker hello. Perfect. So now we can actually see who sent it and what they sent. So what do I want to do for, like, what do I really want to do with this? There's some, the next problem is, like, I have this bot now. I want to do something with the bot, like maybe save it to a database, like save certain results or anything else to a database. Currently this is a completely separate project. And I'm going to want that web server that I have, which is, like, for example, the quick break overlays and everything else. I want to be able to have access to these. Stupid Twitch punished me, saying I'm talking way too much and gave me a timeout. Oh no! I don't think I have any, like, auto moderator on. So mod tools, follows only. Yeah, I don't have anything. So that was all Twitch themselves. Sorry, Stacking. But you're back, so that's good. Okay, what's a first cool thing that we can do with this? So if we know, okay, maybe before I do anything else, let's commit this. So we have a working chat bot that only prints messages to the terminal. I mean, so not chatting with other people, but not necessarily bad thing either. All right, so what do we want to do with this? We can do a poll here. I don't have a get up. No, I don't have a get upstream for it yet. So I'm just committing this. I'm still baffled by the ping thing. That might. So okay, right. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna see if I can figure out if we cared about this. So if there's a nickname, well, one nice thing about here is that once we're in here, we know that it's another person who's sending it. So even if I don't print out who is sending this, I should now be able to say, okay, so if the message dot contains bang ping, why are you upset? Because I forgot a semicolon. Okay, so if the message contains ping, let's then print line. Well, we're already getting this. We'll print line pong. Okay, I haven't set it up yet. Give me a second to recompile this. I have no idea why ping didn't work because all it was doing was checking a message for a ping string. Exactly. I don't understand why either. It was working for me and not for everybody else, but I'm not even that user, so it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we're back up and running. It's going. If I send a bang ping, I get a ping and a Pong request right here. All right. The mill guy. You got a ping and a Pong. Okay. So that's good. So now I want to unprivate the channel. You got a Pong too. Perfect. So now I want to not just print line Pong. Oh, the smiley guy. Oh my gosh. Okay, I did not read that right. Sorry about that. Did not mean to horrifically mess up your username, the smiley guy. Okay. So now I want to, so channel dot, is it, what was it? It was send. It was, oh no, it was client send priv message and we pass it channel. Okay, so client, so this is the IRC client dot send priv message, right? Priv message, we pass it a reference to the channel and we pass it Pong. Everybody messes up my name, don't worry. Well, I'm still sorry. No method name, send priv message found for type IRC client. Client, send priv message. Oh, misspelled. Yep, mistyped it. Copy and paste work though. Okay, so then IRC, why are you green? Unused result. Oh, right, I need to then unwrap this. Okay, so let's now recompile. We're now running, so now if I send a ping, hey, smiley guy, you got a Pong. And if I send a ping, oh, look at that. Look at that. I got a Pong here. I did not get a Pong here. It's rate limited. I can't send messages very often. That's actually kind of, okay. Now we need to go to Twitch documentation to find out how often I can send messages, because that's not cool. It shouldn't be that rate limited. It's kind of a hard limit. I mean, but it didn't send it when we saw it tried to send it, but it didn't. So chatbots and IRC guide. Scroll down, it was there. Authenticate. Command and message limits. Okay, there are limits of the number of IRC command or messages you're allowed to send to the server. If you exceed these limits, you are locked out of chat for 30 minutes. Okay, 20 per 30 seconds. Okay, I have not even come close to that. Users sending commands or messages to channels in which they do not have a moderator or operator status. Okay. 20 per 30 seconds. For whispers, I don't have. Okay, known and verified bots. While other Twitch bots work with more than 2 messages per few seconds. Well, they're gonna be verified bots. So there's 7,500 per 30 seconds. That's a lot more. Don't forget that when you connect, that counts as sending a message since IRC is string based. But is that 30? Is that 20 of them? That doesn't feel like it's going to be. These are whispers, so we don't have to worry about that. Known and verified bots. Send a message to a channel. So there's join, there's depart, priv message. I mean, I kind of want to now set up like an infinite loop and every second send a message to see like if I'm being rate limited for some reason. Because if I do a ping, wow, none of these are coming through. Don't do it too much because it'll ban all your IP. That would suck. Okay, so it's not happy. But if we wait a while, then it will work. So I guess the question is, do I need to implement a queue system? Okay, so what if we try now? So somebody send a ping. All right, that worked. I wonder what the limit is. Is it like 5 seconds? Do I need to verify the bot? We know it's not our code. At least we do get back. Yeah, so we get the code back on a CLI. So that's working. We get the code back in here, but only after every several seconds. How do I verify a bot? Okay, so 20% users sending commands or messages to channels in which they do not have moderator or operator status. 100% users sending commands with a moderator operator status. 50 per 30 seconds known bots. So I could come into here. Mod user. Okay, so it's a moderator. Ping. Hey, that works. So it needed to be a moderator. That's what it was. That gives us a little bit more room here. Known bots and verified bots. Oh yeah, because users can't type the same message in 30 seconds. Yeah, I know, that's kind of funny for that. Okay, verified bots. How do I verify my bot? There are two special statuses. Verified status is granted only rarely. Okay, so I'm not gonna get verified status unless I like send a message to like Twitch probably and get it. If it's a rare thing. I have to submit the code to Twitch to get it verified. I'm probably not gonna do that. So the next question is, should I should I implement a queue system? So basically with a queue system, what I could do is, well, I could use a thread for this. So I can register a thread, and the thread could be on a slow loop. So it can be looping every 1 second or every so often. And it basically I could divide up how much it has. So I get 100 per 30 seconds. So if we divide that, that's 10 per 3 seconds, and 3 point something per second. I could basically be looping at 0.33 seconds. So it's looping around, and then checking a queue, checking a message queue from the thread, and then if there is one, send it off. You have a verified bot, you might have, yeah, I might have to be a partner with Twitch. That's what I read. I am not a partner with Twitch, so I probably couldn't do that. I'm also fairly far off from being partner, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. Okay, so that's something I could do, and that might be fun to implement. The idea is that here I would take in a thread. Is your channel really going to get that busy where we need to have to code a queue system? Probably not. If it looks like someone's going to spam the bot, just ban the user. That's probably the best idea, is just do that and not worry about it yet, unless I really want to like figure that out. But what are other programming languages other than Rust that you know? Oh, other programming languages. The primary programming language that I've been using at work a lot is JavaScript with Node.js, but also on the front end with just in the browser. Obviously HTML and CSS. Although I'm not terribly great at CSS, I am trying to get better at that. I dabble a little bit in Python in the past, shell scripting with Bash. I began a little bit with C with programming, but I haven't used that in a very long time. What else? That's what I can remember right now. I mean, there's little things here and there that I've like made hello worlds with, but I don't really consider, I've never made anything useful in them. Okay, so what's next? We have this. I kind of want to try to implement a voting system. So basically, where if I say, okay, what should I do next? Should I like code X project or code B project? The other thing is, do I want to put in some kind of front end to this? Currently this bot is like on its own, running on my computer. If I want to be able to like set the project, so people might want to be able to do like that bang project to find what I'm working on. There's no easy way for me to update that besides manually coming in and setting that up here. I'm gonna forget to do that constantly. So having the ability for me to set that up would be really nice. I feel like you really need to know the in and outs other than the hello world to say, you know, yeah, exactly. Otherwise I know lots and lots of languages. Just use a database and have a command to add a command to the database. Yeah, or I think what I'm gonna do is have that web server that I'm using for, so the web server that's doing the overlays can have a front end where I can update that. It will update the database. and then this one will read the database. So I haven't yet set up any database stuff with Rust yet, so that will be a fun thing to play with as well. That's probably going to take a little bit of time to work on too. What databases do I even have on this computer? I don't remember. I have PSQL. No, PSQL is not on here. I could set up like a Docker image with PSQL to basically get that running if I want to. Be able to connect with it that way. I'm up to learn Diesel with you. What's Diesel? Is Diesel a database? I haven't heard of it. Diesel, of course, this is all for the fuel. Diesel database. Diesel RS. Diesel is a safe, extensible ORM and query builder for Rust. Diesel is the most productive way to interact with databases in Rust because it's safe and composable abstractions over queries. Oh, so is this for SQL? Users table load connection. Select from use executed. Okay. Host belonging to user, load connection, select star. Okay, so yeah, it's a query builder. It's a SQL query builder. That's cool. Okay, so what would I need? I need a PSQL database. I need to set it up. Will this include migrations and seeds? So we generate our project, cd diesel demo. We add this in here. Diesel provides a separate CLI to help manage your project. Since it's standalone binary and doesn't affect your project's code directly, you just cargo install Diesel CLI. For example, if you only have Postgres installed, you need to install Diesel CLI. For this project, I would use SQLite, which SQLite is easy. Do I have that installed? SQL. Well, SQLite underscore is installed. How can I actually tell if it's installed? I don't actually use SQLite very much, so I think I've only used it once in one project a long time ago. And that was with Connects with Node.js, so it was super easy. We need to tell Diesel where to find our database. Okay, so we're saying database URL. We can put the URL on a .env instead. Oh, that's nice. Now Diesel CLI can set up everything for us. This will create, oh nice, so there are migrations and seeds for this. That's perfect. Oh, we're gonna use raw SQL for it. Interesting. We can apply our new migration, Diesel migration run. I was kind of hoping that its migration would be in Rust too, so that way it could convert to any of the projects. Okay, so let's write some Rust. External create Diesel. Ooh, .env to write. Oh, I can use that for. All right, I might end up having to use that. We also want to create a post struct. Add the following lines to the top. Derive queryable, table macro. when we call get result, there's tons of really cool stuff here. All right, so I think this is a tutorial that we can go through on our own to play with. We're gonna want to figure out SQLite in here, but maybe it'll just work on its own. Maybe. Okay, so we have latest Rust. How is it to work for NASA? So I no longer work at NASA, Smiley Guy. It was a lot of fun. It was really great to be able to meet all of the scientists and the all the doctors, doctorates who were working there, who were basically managing space shuttles and launches and the space station and working on weather reports and all sorts of other things to like track all of that stuff. And it was really interesting mindset that I gained from that. Like very much a culture of error and a culture of learning. And I sort of like use that to then move forward and go into programming myself. Let's see, what do we want to do? I guess we could start with, well, we can switch over and just do this ourselves, or we could I'm thinking maybe this I might try tomorrow, starting tomorrow. And then for this right now, I'm thinking what I want to do is I want to make a little voting app. Just a little voting section of this. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything crazy. The idea is that if I want to ask a question, you can then, or maybe either voting. Yeah, we'll do voting. So let's say I wanted to say, okay, should I work on project A or project B? Vote by saying like A or B. So in the chat, and I want it one per user. So I don't want like anybody to flood and say, oh, I want to I wrote a script to chat like 1,000,000 times, I win. So I want to, when these messages come in, we take in the message and we can have a vote. So we have the print line and message. Here's our Pong. We then want an else if. So else if message dot contains, it's gonna be bang vote. Do I returns true if the given, okay. Do I still have access to message, or did I just give it ownership to? I don't think I did. I should still have ownership of it, right? Contains doesn't consume it. Okay, so if it's a vote, I now want to take that and split by spaces and take whatever the next thing is. So I'm thinking like we can do vote A or B to begin with, and then later on we can like put on, okay, here's our different votes that we can do, and then we maybe can have an enum or a struct. Maybe create a config for the vote command. Like if someone types vote, they see what the next parameter exists. That if the next parameter exists. I could, well, you mean like it would return back like what the vote is? Maybe. I'm thinking more of like if vote comes in, then we'll split that off, get the next thing, and then add that into a structure that we set up. So maybe create a config for the vote command, like someone types in vote. So like it could just vote on its own with nothing else, would be the following votes are open. We're gonna need to now pull everything out. So how how do I want to do that? I need to take a string and split it. Let's take a look at how I can do that. I guess first we have the message. Raw message clone. That was just to get the nickname. We have the, I guess the message is the text. Okay, so I want to go in, I think it's a string. So Rust string split into words. And the following votes could be in a config, else there's nothing config. Yeah, I think that could work. How do I split a string in Rust? This gives an iterator. Oh, so split and hand it the string of what I'm splitting over. So that would give me some string space FFD. You can move over or collect into a vector. So I can collect that. Yeah, so just collect it. So split is what I want to do. So let commands or votes. Darn you. Well, I mean, I have the low latency, but I think there's still just enough of a latency that it gives me a little bit of a chance to catch up. Okay, so let votes, vote segment, vote words, vote potential commands, vote message, vote parameters. I like that. Vote parameters, which, so I'm gonna do this the normal, like just the way you might think right now, and it's gonna yell at me. Equals vec. Actually not vec. It's gonna be, okay, so we want to take the message, we want to split it on spaces, and then we want to collect the result. Parameters. That just sounds weird to say. I had to close the stream, I couldn't take it. Okay, so the reason why this isn't gonna work, this will collect it into a vector for us. And a vector is just an array in other languages. Vote parameters, type annotations needed. It can't infer type, so it has no idea what this is going to be. So I need to say, I need to give this a type. Consider giving vote parameters a type. So I'm going to say that this is a vec of type string. Dot collect. The trait bound standard vec standard string from iterator. Oh, these are string slices. Okay, never mind. These are, well, I could just also do underscore and it works too. Now it just says we haven't used it. So these are going to be a vector of string slices, and we can see that right here. So we have our vote parameters now. If we want to, we can now actually print this out. So we can print line the votes and the vote parameters. Now, of course, it doesn't implement standard format display, so I'm going to come in here and do a colon question mark to tell it to do a debug display. Maybe try to print. Yep, smiley guy, you're now starting to run into Stacking's problem. Okay, so let's come back to our primary here. Let's recompile. All right, let's give it a vote. Somebody vote on something. It doesn't matter what. So you vote. So votes was just the vector of vote. Miguel votes for A, and so we get vote of A. Smiley guy, you voted for a whole bunch of things. Okay, so this is pretty cool. One thing I just realized, we don't have the user in here. But that's probably not really a problem for this. We can now discard essentially this first one and go with all the rest. So we can either do that ourselves, the iterator, or we can just not really care about this. We do have the nickname. Do we still have the nickname? So votes by nickname. I'm curious about whether or not I give ownership of nickname away, and I forgot. So let's try this. All right, let's do another votes. Votes by the smiley guy. Okay, perfect. So we didn't give ownership of the nickname away. We have everything. Ugga bugga. That's a nice one. Standard B for smiley guy. Okay, so now what we need is a structure to store these votes in. Yo-Yo Ma, you voted for me. We're putting this all into main. This is starting to feel a little bit. We might want to put this into a library and use that. So let's actually do that. So we have main rs in source. Let's create a lib.rs. Okay, so we're gonna want a structure here. I figure we need a proper testing parameters here. Maybe create a config as well. I don't know if we need a config, but we probably will need to properly test this. Okay, so in our library, we're gonna create our structure. So we're gonna do a pub struct votes. Now there is a minor problem with this chat system. I need to like recompile and set up the chatbot every single time that I do a vote with this, which is not really all that great. It might in the end be better to like store this into a temporary database and read it, or like somehow send it up to the front end, and the front end can like also display the votes in some kind of cool nifty system. But for right now, I just want to do this, and then maybe that will be it. And I'll have to think about how I want to actually create a generic voting system where I can create a vote. Oh, maybe that will be it. I can in chat create a vote. So if you do it proper, it wouldn't be hard to repurpose the code. Yeah, no, I think you're right. So I want to be able to do something like this. I want to be able to say create vote. And then I want to have like two options, like A and B. And then it will automatically track A or B with that. And then it may be like A, B, like two choices, and then along with the time that it'll be up and running. So that's the end result of what I want to do. I wonder how I could test that, because I don't think I can test like properly of like sending that full message. So in main RS, I would need to create a vote just from me. So if message contains vote, then we're just going to go on and maybe like maybe just pass everything into a library and have it handle everything else. Where we say, okay, if it's me who sent this, oh, we want to create vote, and then there would be actually voting on it. So if it do it proper, it wouldn't be too hard to pre-purchase code. Yeah, the question is like, how do I want to do it proper? And I haven't thought about this at all. So it's going to take a little bit of time of like planning this out and thinking. Of course, I could do that off stream or on stream. Okay, so create vote would just, I would, for any active votes, I could have a structure that then has maybe a vector of all of the votes that are active. Maybe check the client ID to see if it's you that's creating a vote, if possible. Well, yeah, I'll definitely do that. For the create vote, just check for the message contains. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm gonna do. So if message contains, we'll do this. Create vote. We also need, so else if message contains this, and the nickname, so nickname is equal to Zerker. So if it is me, then the vote parameters, we're going to split those all up and we're going to figure out what these vote parameters are. And then we'll print line. So this, let's just sort of think about what we want to print here, which is nickname, or rather, okay, is creating a new vote. Okay, so nickname and then vote parameters. Contains wouldn't be very smart because someone could have a very similar name. Well, the nickname is coming from the source nickname. So that's actually, I think IRC is actually pulling that out. But we can play around with it and see if we could break it. Vote parameters needs to be debug. So then there's the vote parameters. Also allow for multiple options like A, B, C, and D, and have them all options. Yes, that might be really good too. I'm gonna start with lib is, I'm gonna leave you empty. Okay, let's recompile. I want to see if I can be the only one who sets this off. Okay, so if I do a create vote, and it's gonna be something like chat, like let's say code or game, code or play. So Berserker is creating a new vote, create vote, code or play. All right. And the smiley guy could not do that. You're not allowed. Well, okay, so it worked. Somebody tried to break it. See if you can break it. See if you can create a vote. It's not possible to break. Well, you can already tell by the code. I guess, like, can somebody put in my username? It's looking for the exact nickname. My exact nickname is Brookzerker. So I was wondering if somebody did this, can you change your name? So I don't know. Like, I don't know if we can change our nicknames. But if we did this, create vote, Brookzerker, AB. Like, so for me, that's what came out. And we're just trying to make sure that they're not like, their code should be good. Like it shouldn't just pull through and look for Berserker in it. It should actually be looking for this line right here, which is set by Twitch. Well, it's actually set by your OAuth token. So, okay, good. So it's not, they coded their stuff properly. So I can be secure in my knowledge that I am the only one who can create this vote. So I'm creating this vote. I now have a vector of the options that I want to create. I wonder, so far it's doing everything by space. I wonder if, well, everything that's really easy to do. So words would be best. So I would want to create a vote based upon a single word and have everything after the first thing be the options. That sounds to me like I want a struct. So librs, we want a pub, a struct, and this will be maybe a vote. And in here, we're gonna have the, well, they're all gonna be created by me, so I have to track that. So I know who they're created by. We need the options, like the first option. Can I do, I don't know if I can do a series of, well, okay. I can't necessarily do like option 1 because we don't know what that is. I'm going to create the vote. I'm going to put that in there, and it's just going to say, well, this is option 1, whatever that is. Maybe I should do options is a vec of type string. So it's just gonna like have a vector of strings as the options, and you can vote on which of those. I have to loop through and like put them into the appropriate ones. It's a little bit annoying, but that's only because I have no idea how many there are, so I can't create a structure like that properly. Oh, you know what? I can use a hash map. I can do a hash map of the voting options. I always forget about that. So then options could be a hash map. Let's use standard. What is it under? I've been forgetting this recently. Standard collections. Hash map. I'm not sure a hash map would be any vector better than vector. Well, it would still be stored in here. So it'd be a hash map of string. And the idea is that the key would now, so I'm thinking less of like storage difficulties. It's when you take the vote in. Yes, it'll be easier for keeping accounts and the options together. That's what I'm thinking. Well, easier to reason from a human perspective. Not easier to code, for sure. My watch is telling me that I've been sitting down for too long. Okay, so we have options for hash map string. And I also want time to live. So maybe take a walk to get water. I'm thinking that might be it. I think is open. So like is open, like is open is running taking votes. Active. And this can be a Boolean. Cool. And so that way we can say, okay, if it's open, if it's closed, it no longer takes the votes, and then we do that. I think I am going to take a break to go get a little bit of water. I think we all need to take a walk. Legs are getting kind of cramped. Yeah, let's all take a quick break, and we'll be back in like five minutes or so. And that'll give us a little bit of time to think about how we're going to do this vote. All right, I'll see you in 5 minutes. We're doing a real quick break this time. Maybe we should add a countdown to the break screen. Oh man, that would be a good thing to add. I need it. That's another thing to add is a list of projects to work on. But we'll have to add that to the list. All right, real break starting now. I'm back. Yeah, break timer part of the bot would be nice, because then I could say something like bang break a number of time. Yeah, well, getting raw HTML out of XXX was not fun, by the way. Yeah, that was interesting. You made a pretty break screen in Rust. It would be a shame not to use its full prettiness. You know what? Probably a bot that displays it would be good, but also like, yeah, some kind of thing that puts it on a quick break screen. I could do a timer in CSS too. Like that would be pretty easy. To set up, but it would be in the code, so I'm not sure how it would like set that up properly without some kind of a config admin screen. Then that would require going back to the database and having like JSON responses back, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So I'm all up for trying to improve the community with docs, but I don't fully agree that shaming is the best way to do it, because that might cause them not to want to like be part of the community. There's probably a better way, which is like, hey, let's just get a bunch of junior developers started with Rust and give them awesome kickbacks for building documentation for everybody. Stress the poor quality of useful libraries. The poor quality of the libraries themselves or the docs? I mean, I'm not even writing proper documentation for this library here, so that's like part of the problem. Okay, so what were we doing here? We have a how long it's active. Let's just start really basic. Let's just do our options and the hash map and what it is. So you have our public struct vote. We want to implement for the vote, and there's gonna be a pub function new, which is gonna take in the vector of voting parameters. So vote parameters is going to be a vector of string references, and we're going to return a new vote. This library isn't getting programmed to be shared with possibly millions of people. What are you talking about? This chatbot is going to take over from everything. I am sure that it's going to be higher quality than Nightbot or any other bot ever going to be made on the face of the planet. I mean, why wouldn't it be, right? If you have a ton of crates, if you have crates on it, you have a duty to the public at that point. Yeah, I agree with that. And pretty soon, like, unless they already maybe they already have it, is there a way to do like private crates where you can like have it in the cloud, but it's your own crates.io essentially? And then so you can still do cargo pull, but then tell cargo to pull it from a different location. Miguel, 6 o'clock there. Gotta start making dinner. See you guys later. See ya. I think I'm only gonna go for another half an hour or so. I've been doing this for 3 hours so far, so we're at my current. We're currently breaking records for how long I'm going. 11 o'clock is definitely my limit. I have to get ready for some other things. Okay, so we have our vote parameters. We're going to create a new hash map from this. We know that this is a vector. We know the first one, we don't really care about it. We know because it's just the command, the create vote command. So let's try looping through this. So we'll loop through this, but only starting at the first one and going to the end. So for do I really need the index? Probably not. So for vote in vote parameters, not really. Or vote in, I guess I'm just gonna do index in one vote parameters length. So we're just gonna manually iterate through this. Then we can extract out, and so we can print line vote like 1 is that. So we'll have I, and we'll have vote parameters of I. Okay, so when we pull out, so we're going to create a vote. We're going to call it new on it. So in main, we now need to do extern crate. What is the name of this crate? Twitch_chat. We can use, so it'll be a Twitch chat : Okay, so under here we have our create vote. So here's our vote parameters. It's creating a vote. Let's replace this by now calling Twitch chat vote new, and pass it in vote parameters. And we should get, well, I guess, you know what? This is going to yell at us because we're not really returning a new right now. So I'm just going to return nothing to begin with. I'm actually surprised that wasn't yelling at me. Recompile. Expected options hash map. Oh, right. It's not gonna be happy if I don't do anything. Comment out. We don't need that. Okay, unused. I don't really care. Running. So now I should be able to create a vote. So create vote, and I'm going to say A and B. Vote 1A, vote to B. Perfect. So now we can do a hash map, and we'll put in which one of these, and we'll initialize the votes to 0 for each of them. Okay, so next let's look up how to do These are for IRC. That's yours. ToString. Here's the real ones. Hash map. Oh, I am dropping frames. I dropped 980 frames. It's green again though, so we had a little bit of a blip. Actually, didn't look like it went up. That was weird. I'm not losing frames, it's just your movement are really jerky. Well, it looks like we did lose some frames, but I don't know when that was. I guess this isn't super up to date, so it's really hard to tell. All right, let's look for hash map. Okay, so we're gonna initialize the new hash map. So we can call this in here, let votes equals hash map new. Got any tips for starting to learn Rust? I know languages like C# and Java, but I don't know if they'd be helpful. So your knowledge of memory and how memory works will be very helpful with that. However, you might also run into problems because of memory management. So there is, it's really like the memory management, and then also the multiple types of strings are probably going to be the biggest things that that trip you up. My suggestion: read the book. So read the Rust book, and that will give you everything you need. And in fact, because it is so easy to do, I'm going to allow myself to become slightly. Okay. Yep, a book command. Else if message.contains Rust book, we're going to do what is it? IRC client dot send approved message. Oh, it's the reference to the channel, and then the actual you can read the Rust book at or maybe the Rust book, a great way to begin learning the language. And then the actual URL. I'm not going to give a URL of the book itself. I'm going to give you a URL of rustling.org, documentation, programming language, this page, because it will always allow you to go to the latest version from here. Okay, so if I hit that, save. Of course, I'm in the middle of writing code, so this won't work right now. All right, where are you upset about? Cannot for type for K. Oh, I need to say what type it's gonna be. I think hard coding the second generation would be better. I guess you'll just have to remind me to change it. We could do that from now. Oh yeah, you're right, because they have the 28. I don't I don't fully agree that they put the 2018 version there. It's very confusing. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to come into librs and we're going to comment out hash map. It will figure out the type properly once I actually start throwing things into it. But if I just want to get this working, which I didn't. Where was that? That was a failed, a lack of a semicolon. Running. Okay, let's try it. That is Rust book. All one word. Perfect. So that is, you need an unwrap since it's an option. I do. Why did it let me do it? That is weird. And yet, it's not even listed there. It yelled at you, but still compiled. Okay, I guess it's because it's the last thing, so it's ending anyways. But it's good to have it. Okay, so that was a nice little side thing. Back to this. Okay, so we have our hash map. We're creating a new hash map. We are it needs to be mutable too. So let mutable vote equals a new hash map. We need to now insert. It's going to be key value. So key and then the value. Book review contains key. So I think actually what I want to do is for this, it's going to be vote.insert. The key is going to be the vote parameters of I, and the value is going to be 0 because there's 0 votes. This is all about retrieving. But let's begin with this. Okay, so we now have our hash map. We can now pull this into here. I would turn that into a let or something that looks kind of ugly. Yeah, this would be good to come out here. Also, we need to make it a string. So because it's right now it's a string slice. So let's do that too. Not there, in here. So it's gonna be the vote, it's like the first vote, the vote parameter, the vote option, equals this dot to owned. Then we're going to put in the vote option here. All right, so that should give us our hash map. Now we can return the vote. So in this function, we're going to return the vote with the options is the vote. Create that into votes. And I should just name this votes too. which means you are votes. And now I don't need you anymore, just votes. All right. So now I'm returning the votes. So when I create a new into main RS, we get the votes. So let votes equals, we then Twitch like set, we've now set this up. So we now have basically an instance of this this type. Let's now print this out. Print line votes. I'm gonna have to debug print this, and it's gonna be the votes. I'm gonna need to public this vote, aren't I, to really get it? Public votes dot votes. This is starting to get really messy. I'm thinking about I'm gonna want to create functions to sort of like run those things off of there. Save view. Everybody's fine. Everybody's happy. Let's go ahead and try to compile this. I cannot find value vote in this scope. Vote.insert. Yes, I probably did mean votes. So lib line 14. So you have vote.insert. That's because it's votes. Wrong number of type arguments, expected at least 2, found 1. So public votes hash map string, expected at least 2 type arguments. Interesting. Okay, so like what is hash map? Oh, right, key value. Key value. I think it's hash map string. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so let's try this. Mismatch types, expected struct center string, found integral variable. Oh no, it's not string. It's how many votes can we get? I think did I just use usize? Let's do usize. Okay. Expect. Oh, I took away the return. I need to give that back. So it's a new vote. And we compiled. All right, create vote. A or B. All right, so we have votes. A has 0 votes and B has 0 votes. All right, so we're getting it. So inside of here, we have create vote. We now have the votes in here. And so this, we're also going to want to have a timer on it too. That's going to be really interesting. I'm thinking for right now, I'm probably going to want a close vote command. Now the problem is votes exist in this scope. It's not where I want it to be. Because now it's going to be impossible to work with this. Because somebody else, well, first of all, anybody who's voting on it, like, can't access it because it only lives in here. I need it to be able to be gotten out here too. So that's going to be interesting. I may have to think about how to properly do that. to like have it accessible outside. It could be that I'm going to want at the beginning of the application to initialize a vote struct that it itself keeps track of other votes that are going on. Just move it to the main scope. Well, so I don't think I can, let votes. Move that to the main scope. I guess I could do that. So the other thing is this does mean that we can only have one vote at a time, but that we should probably only have one vote at a time. So we have let votes equals chat new parameters. If I do this, votes equals, and up here we have in the main we have our config, we have that. Let's add in let votes. So now in vote on, okay, so else if message.contains, we want this to be vote. Well, so create vote is going to be interesting. Well, else if, so this is first. So if there's a create vote, it won't run this one. Otherwise, vote. Okay, so else if the message contains just a vote. Mutable votes, you're right. That mute votes. Because I'm going to want to be muting this very shortly. So if message contains vote, what do I want to do with it? I really feel like these commands should be in enum by now to avoid the ugly else if. Yeah, we should probably do that too. Because like message contains create vote. We should probably like send the message to a function and get that back and as an enum, and then it will make it a lot simpler. Then we can just have these look nicely. That's probably another thing to do later. Okay, so if message contains vote, we're going to want to do the same thing. We're going to want to let vote parameters collect all these votes up. Now we have like whatever they're working on. Let's say I really only care about the second thing. So they're gonna have vote and then the thing they're voting on. I'm also gonna care about who voted on it. Although right now we could just have anybody vote for anything and we won't worry about that right this second. Okay, so we have our vote parameters. The vote itself. So let the vote option, maybe like the vote choice, is really going to be equal to vote parameters of 1. Vote should really check is active first, but that's not programmed. Yeah, I don't have that yet because I can't really turn it off either. That's probably going to be like one of the next things. Right now, I just want to see the numbers going up. And then we can make it like actually work good. Okay, so we have vote choice equals vote parameters. Also, like your statement about the enum is absolutely correct. This is starting to get really ugly, and so refactoring that is going to be probably the first thing we do after this, which will probably be tomorrow. Okay, so vote parameters, vote choice equals these vote parameters. So here's their vote choice. And then what we want to do is then vote on it. So we now want for votes. So votes dot vote dot vote. That's horrible. And we're going to pass in the vote choice. And I don't think we really necessarily need to pay attention to that. So vote.vote, vote choice. For right now, I'll put the print line in the implementation of it. Okay, so votes.vote, we take in a vote choice, which is a string. We should also be refactoring this code so we don't have, I'm thinking like there's so many things we need to do to make this better. This is definitely, this is definitely just experimental code. There's so many things wrong with it. At least from a like usability and long-term, even like short-term usage. Okay, so we have implement vote, public function new. We're also going to have a pub function vote that's going to take in a vote option, which is a string. We're not going to return anything. So what we want to do is we want to now, I have to tell this to be mutable, don't I? So what we want to do is we want to find the hash map, and if it exists, if the thing exists in it, we want to increment it by 1. So where is our, there's different ones here. I remember that. So there's values, we don't want entry. I know there's get. Okay, so returns a reference to the value corresponding to the key. And it's an option. So we can, if we get the key, take into self and then just do self count count. Yeah, exactly. So we want the get. Returns a reference to the value corresponding key. Perfect. The key be any borrowed from the match type, but hash equal must match the type. Is it mutable? I hope it is. Let's try it. So we'll do get. So it's going to be, I always forget that this needs to be a mutable reference to self. So we're going to, I forgot count wasn't a hash map. So we're going to have to now on hash map. So self dot public function get self, it returns an option. So I'm going to want to match on self dot votes. And we're going to pass it in the key. So that's going to be the vote option. So we're going to get a sum or a none. So if we get a sum, it's going to be on the count. So if it's this count, we want to count plus equals to 1. If it's the none option, well, we don't really care, do we? We just want to do nothing. So can we just do, I can't remember what it is. Is it just underscore like that? It's not yelling at me, but VS Code doesn't seem to be happy right now. Do I have to also make this mutable? I can't remember. We might have to like do mute count. And it might have to be a reference to count too. Okay, so let's try compiling this, see what happens. Okay, so expected expression, well, parsing. So I can't remember, when I don't want to do anything at all, what do I want to do? I want to return absolutely nothing. We aren't dereferencing, so we shouldn't need to ref it. I want to return, well, if I'm, can't remember what I want to do here. I guess, you know what? This is probably better as an if let, because I don't care about the none. So I want to do an if let here. So if let sum count equals, and this is going to be self dot votes dot get vote option. Then it's going to be the count plus equals 1. And that's it. No red squiggly line, so it's not upset. You're unhappy. Can't find crate for Twitch chat. Why not? Is it because there's an error in Twitch chat? Is there an error in here and so it's being upset? Let's see what errors we get. Mismatch types. Expected reference found struct standard string string. Oh, so it needs a reference. So I need to pass a reference of vote option in. It does not want to take ownership. WebJock. WebJock or Jockey. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. It's going well. We're creating a chatbot and we're also creating a voting system sort of from scratch. Okay, so binary assignment operation plus equals cannot be applied to type usize. Maybe I don't want usize then. You know what? I probably want, oh wait, I said usize? I think I just want an unsigned int, don't I? Like probably a 32, like a U32. Yeah, Rust is really fun to play with. It yells at us a lot, but that's to be expected. Binary assignment operation plus equals cannot be applied to type reference. Wait. Hold on, I want to change this back to usize again. I think I misread the error. Reference to usize. That's what the problem is. Plus equals not right in Rust. I think it binary a separate operator. Thought we could do that, but maybe we can't. help plus equals can be used on usize. You can dereference. I need to dereference count. So I do need to dereference this. It's basically dereference count. Cannot borrow as mutable. Cannot assign to immutably borrowed content count. Okay, so I need to get a mutable count here. Cannot assign to immutable borrowed content count. Okay. Does this also need to be mute here? Okay, not allowed to do mutable here. I need to do mutable. So mute count. So if let sum mute count equals votes, votes option, dereference count, add 1. It's ref count. Oh, so we have to do that to dereference. We have to do that to dereference it. Expected expression found keyword ref. That's not happy. It be should some oh, I put it in the wrong place. Ref count here. Okay. Binary assignment operation cannot be applied to type. Now I have ampersand usize. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Should this... I still think plus equals is not right in Rust. I mean, so I can do equals count plus 1. And that should work if it likes it, but it's not liking it because binary operation plus cannot be applied to type. It's now ampersand usize. So it's now wanting me plus can be used in usize. You can dereference count with star count. So ref count. That's no change, so that was not the correct place to put it. Let's actually look at the documentation again. I'm really not sure. Yeah, I know my brain is starting to get fried too. Let's look at the source and see if they have any reference, if any help in here. Okay, returns a reference to the corresponding to the key. The key may be borrowed, may be any borrowed form of the map's key type, but hash and equal must match those for key type. Okay, that mute map equals hash map new, map insert 1a. Reference to a. I feel like the doc we did do this in the book at some point in time. Get mute returns a mutable reference. Get mute. Get mute. Get mute. Okay, will that just work as is? No, cannot be applied to type reference mute usize. An implementation of standard ops add might be missing. Or reference mute size. Okay, so we have ref count. If we try this, what happens? So that's just a single reference now. So the ref added a reference. You can dereference count with star count. Are we taking the right thing in the if left statement? I think I am. Maybe. I can also. I could just print line count is the count in there. Mismatch types. Votes vote. Expected struct standard string found string slice. So is this main RS line 45? Voters that vote. So to owned. Use of possibly uninitialized votes. Right. Because okay, so because we're creating votes here, it's uninitialized. We wrote code in here under vote. It's going to attempt to use votes, but it's saying, hey, votes may not actually have this thing yet. So we would need to change this all around and figure that out. All right. I'm getting super tired with this. I'm not super tired with this. I'm getting just super tired, which is affecting my ability to think through these things clearly. I think it'd be great for me to stop for the day and come at it fresh tomorrow morning and rethink how we're going to do this. I'm guessing that initializing it out here as a structure and then basically being able to say, hey, there's no votes, so this one can check if there's a vote. But I'm thinking before we do any of that, refactoring this to use enums, refactoring it to use options properly will be all the better way, and like pulling a lot of this into library will be definitely the better way to go with it. So I think I will be closing down the stream. Let's see how many people I have still. Good. You've got this, man. Rust seems very low level, like C or something. Good commenting though. Thank you, WebJockey. It is. It's definitely a systems language, and it can be like that. It can be pretty tough to use, but it's also extremely rewarding because it's super, like when you get it running, it's really good. The other thing is the compiler is generally pretty good too. Rust is trying to be a C replacement. That's what it sort of feels like. I don't know if the official Rust team is like actively saying that, or if that's just the community. All right.